Drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes. I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Good Saturday morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Guess what? It's that time. 11 o'clock a.m. Central till 12 p.m. Eastern. TFG Sports Media Show. And I'm your host, Kendrick, the best 30-minute sports talk show on social media. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. It is Saturday morning, and we're going to jump into some sports talk. Again, it's a little chilly for my taste, but again, it's January, and that's what to be expected. So I hope everybody had a great week. Make sure you drop on in here. Make sure you hit that comment. Hit that. Talk to me. Speak to me. Let me know you're here. Make sure you hit that. Make sure you like the show. Make sure you share it to your social media platforms, and certainly make sure you subscribe to TFG Sports Media on YouTube, and make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media on Facebook. We did hit our mark of 1,000 subscribers, and I have to give a hand clap to those that have subscribed to the channel. We are at 1,010, but we still got some more to go. This is just the beginning. I just want to say thank you to all those that have subscribed, that watch, and share. Make sure you share and like. Get that algorithm going so we can get some more watch hours. Get that going. So we're good. We're good up in the hood. So again, I want to say thank you, me and my producer, Tyler. We definitely appreciate the love and the support. So let's jump into the show. Again, make sure you come in here and comment. Let me know you're watching so we can chat a little bit. We're going to get into our quick hits. First off, first quick hit, number one, we're talking about the Michigan Wolverines. You know, they were in the college football playoff. They did lose to TCU. Well, their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, is returning. He had flirted with some NFL teams. He talked with a couple of teams about potentially making a return to the NFL. He did a Zoom interview with the Denver Broncos and did have conversation with the Carolina Panthers owner, Dave Tepper, but he decided he's staying put. Harbaugh is in his 9th season with his alma mater, Michigan, so he will be staying on the collegiate level. Now, quick hit number 2. There's a documentary in the works on my GOAT, you know, but it's debatable, but he's going to always be my GOAT. MJ, yeah, is this going to be the last dance after the last dance? Don't know what the title's going to be yet, but according to Sam Amico of Hoops Wire, he did write on Twitter this past Wednesday that there's a documentary in the works on Michael Jordan's tenure with the Washington Wizards. Now, you remember Mike came out of retirement in 2001 for the second time to join the Wizards. He only played 2 seasons with them. So there is a documentary in the works on those 2 seasons he played with the Wizards, according to Sam Amico with Hoops Wire. All right, quick hit number 3. Georgia offensive lineman Devin Willock and recruiting staff member Chandler LaCroix were killed in a car wreck early this past Sunday in Athens, Georgia. Willock was a redshirt sophomore from New Milford, New Jersey. He started 2 games on the offensive line this past season. Willock was only 20 years old. LaCroix, she was only 24. According to the police report released Tuesday, it listed excessive speed on a road with a 40-mile-per-hour limit as one of the primary causes of the crash. So the University of Georgia, after coming off their back-to-back national championships, they're dealing with the loss of one of their own and another member, 2 members of their football program. And it was 2 other people in the vehicle. One of them was a football player. He's doing fine. And it was a female passenger that's in there as well. She was in critical condition. So our condolences. We send the prayers out to the University of Georgia football program and the families of both those young people, LaCroix's family and Wilford. So that's our quick hit number 3. Now, number 4, VB Senior, morning. Thank you for joining me, my brother. Quick hit, our last quick hit for this morning, this Saturday morning. Cowboys, Buccaneers. Yeah, Cowboys thrashed the Buccaneers. They put a beat down on them this past Monday night. Well, that wild card game, according to a report I found on Front Office Sports. It drew 30.6 million viewers across 5 Disney networks. That's ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. And that was up 32% from last year's Monday night wildcard game between the Rams and the Cardinals, up 32%. The 30.6 million viewers average tops all 18 NFL playoff games shown on a Disney-owned network over the past 24 years. Again, you can say what you want. All the Cowboys, anti-Cowboys. I'm in the middle of the road. I ain't a hater. I don't dislike them. You know, it is what it is. You can say what you want, but the Cowboys, when they on television, people watch. You can just go down your timeline on Facebook. Those that aren't even supposedly Cowboy fans, they talk more about the Cowboys than they do their own team. So there you have it. The numbers speaks for itself. The Cowboys draw viewers, and we're going to jump into it. This is a very good segue because guess what? We get ready to talk about NFL divisional games. We got 2 today, 2 tomorrow. The 2 today, we have the Jaguars at the Chiefs. That kicks off at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on NBC. You got them today. Then the nightcap tonight, the Giants at the Eagles. That's at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time on Fox. And then our Sunday games, we got the Bengals at the Bills. That's the early game. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Central Standard Time on CBS. And then we got the Cowboys at the 49ers, 5:30 Central Standard Time on Fox. VB Senior says they bring in the money. You're exactly right, brother. That's what they do. So let's go ahead and segue. Since we're talking about the Cowboys, we're talking about divisional games. Let's talk about this number 5 seeded Cowboys going to the 49ers. Now, this is when you talk about playoff matchups, there is so much history between these two teams. Started in the 80s, continued in the 90s, and it fell off for a while because both teams have kind of been up and down. Cowboys been more down than the 49ers, but they both had their shares of ups and downs. But this has always been a playoff historical matchup. This is the 9th time that these teams are meeting in the playoffs. Cowboys lead the series 5-3. So again, we got the number 5 Cowboys, 13-5 at the 49ers, 14-4. That's a Sunday game. The late 5:30 game on Fox. The 49ers are the number 2 seed. Cowboys coming off that beat down again over the Bucks this past Monday. And check this out. The Cowboys last won a road playoff game. It was in the early 90s, 1992. And that was at San Francisco. That's the last playoff road game that they won at San Fran. Now, the Cowboys, when they play on grass so far this season, they've been 1-4 playing on grass. And they've also been 1-6 when they wear those navy blue jerseys in the playoffs. So don't know which jerseys they're wearing. VB says, was the last time they met in 94? I'm not sure, but I'm talking about playoff road games. Now, they probably did meet in 94, but they played the 49ers at home when they met in 94. I'm specifically saying the Cowboys have not won a playoff road game since 1992 at San Fran. They did meet in 94, but they played at home. They didn't play them on the road. So, yeah, that's the difference. So they hadn't won a road playoff game since 92. So can they get that monkey off their back? We're going to see. I think they're going to have a tough road. But Prescott looked like he found his mojo against the Buccaneers. He was 25 of 33 for 315 yards and 4 touchdowns. Schultz, he caught 7 balls for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's his security blanket. And I will tell you this, the opening spread that I last looked at on this game is 4 points, the Niners. And I think this game is probably going to be at least a 6-point swing. I think the Niners, I can see that, a 1-possession game. So I think it's gonna be a tough one. I think the Cowboys got a tough road, but we'll see. Again, the Niners, they blew out the Seahawks in their opener 41-23. It wasn't no contest that second half. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in this past NFL draft. He's looking like a cool, calm. He's actually looking cool and calm like Joe Burrow looked last year. He's looking like he got it. He got it going, and he got them offensive weapons too. So the Cowboys, they got this going to be a tough one. Purdy won his 6th straight game since replacing the injured Jimmy Garoppolo in Week 13 versus Miami. Purdy against Seahawks, he was 18 of 30, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 1 rushing touchdown. McCaffrey, he's looking like he can stay healthy. He's been giving them what they need on the ground. He had 15 carries, 119 yards. He had that 68-yard run against the Seahawks. And Deebo Samuel, 6 receptions, 133 yards, 1 touchdown versus the Seahawks as well. And then we ain't even talking about the Niners D. That Niners D, man, with Greenlaw and Warner, they combined for 17 total tackles versus the Seahawks. You got Nick Bosa, who's probably going to be the defensive player of the year. He had 5 tackles in that game, 1 tackle for loss. Then they had Charles Omenihu. He had 2 sacks. So that 49ers defense, number 1 ranked defense in the league, number 1 against giving up points scored. They number 1 all the way across the board. The Cowboys, they really going to have to step their run game up because I think they're going to have some problems a little bit with that pass rush. So VB also says, road game, okay, he got you. Okay, if the Niners win with Mr. Irrelevant, do you think Dak's legacy would be tarnished? No, because it's not. I don't think so. Because Mr. Irrelevant didn't beat 6 or 7 other teams before the Cowboys. So with those quarterbacks, let's say this, VB, the quarterback don't play against the quarterback. The quarterback plays against the other team defense. You see what I'm saying? Just like people like to want to say Dak versus Brady. Nah, it really wasn't Dak versus Brady Monday night. It was Dak versus that Tampa Bay defense, just like it was Brady versus Cowboys defense. No, will his legacy be tarnished? I don't think so. I don't think his legacy has even been cemented yet. I think, he's had some ups and downs, to be honest with you. So, the only thing right now we can say about Dak's legacy is he's been inconsistent. I mean, outside of, he's been hurt a couple of times too. So now I don't think so at all. Now the Cowboys opened up as 4-point underdogs in this game. The 49ers haven't lost a game since October. They own an 11-game win streak. They 8-1 at home this season. Again, this is the nighttime that these teams will meet in the playoffs. The Cowboys currently lead that 5-3. Some of the big catches, i.e. the Dwight Clark catch in the 80s that basically turned the fortunes of that 49ers franchise around. And then the Cowboys went on the downslide after that catch. And just some of the, the Emmett Troy and Michael battles that they did. I remember the one when the Cowboys went out there. I want to say that could have been 92. I can't remember when it was. It was muddy. The field was muddy. Cowboys, they put it on. And matter of fact, I think that's the last win. I believe that's their last road game win. Was that game, the muddy, it was raining all over the place. I remember that game, and it was a tough one, but the Cowboys pulled it off. So, again, this is definitely going to be a good one. I think the Cowboys are if they can stay away from stumping themselves in the foot and not making any dumb turnovers, dumb penalties, more so than anything, I think they give themselves a shot, but I think the 49ers just got too much firepower on that offensive side of football. So I'm picking the Niners to win this game. I'm picking them to win 23-18. That is my pick. Those are some great games, VB. Yes, sir. They sure were. Great games. Now, let's go to our Saturday game early. Our 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Today on NBC, we're talking the number 4 seeded Jaguars at the number 1 seed, the Chiefs. And who would have thunk it? Who would have thought the Jaguars would have made the playoffs, let alone be in the divisional round? Now, the Jaguars overcame a 27-0 deficit. That was the third largest comeback in playoff history, and they beat the Chargers 31-30 in the wild card round. The Jaguars have trailed in 9 of their past 10 games, 6 by double digits. Ain't going to be able to do that against this Kansas City Chiefs team at all. The Chiefs, again, beat the Jaguars earlier in this season, 27-17. Now, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has never lost in 4 starts in the divisional round, and he's played all those at home. Secret weapon for the Chiefs, not much of a secret for the NFL people. They're fans and that loud stadium. Arrowhead Stadium, they say, is one of the loud, if not the loudest, it is one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, and it can be difficult to play there with that crowd noise. So watch for that secret weapon today, because I'm sure them fans going to be ready to go. VB says those, again, back when we was talking about the Cowboys and Niners, they were some great games. Now, Chiefs weapons, Mahomes, he's thrown for 5,250 yards this season, 41 touchdowns, 12 INTs. He has a completion percentage of 67.1. His all-world tight end, Travis Kelce, then caught 110 balls for 1,338 yards, 12 touchdowns, and running back Isaiah Pacheco, 830 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. They have pretty much used more Isaiah Pacheco than they have Edwards-Helaire. He's pretty much, I don't even think he gets much playing time. So the offense is still rocking and rolling. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's caught quite a few balls. McCole Hardman has kind of been a little bit banged up, but he's still another big threat for them. And the Chiefs offense is ranked number 1 in the league. Jags defense, number 24 in the league, and that's total yards. Now the Chiefs defense is ranked number 11 in the league, total yards, and the Jags offense is number 10 for total yards in the league. So again, I said this to a family member. He said, anything can happen. The Jazz could beat the Chiefs. I said, you know what? I think that slipper, that Cinderella slipper, the clock is going to strike midnight. The slipper ain't going to fit, and that's going to be a wrap for the Jaguars today. My pick, I'm picking the Chiefs to beat the Jaguars 33-17. The spread is 8.5 Chiefs. I definitely can see that. So I think it's going to be a long road for the Jaguars in this game. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence can stay away from them interceptions, they might have a shot. But the Chiefs got that defense, that especially defensive tackle Chris Jones. He's 3rd or 4th in the league with 15.5 sacks. So my pick, I'm picking the Chiefs over the Jags 33-17. Now let's move on to the nightcap tonight. We got the number 6 Giants, the NFC East meeting. Third meeting of these two NFC East division rivals. We got the number 6 seeded Giants at the number 1 seeded Eagles. Again, that's tonight on Fox, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trevor's going to turn into a pumpkin. He definitely is. I believe he will be turning into a pumpkin, my man. Again, so the Giants snuck in. Well, they ain't really sneak in. The Giants got in the playoffs. The Eagles, number 1 seed, they've been resting for a little bit, trying to get their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, 100%. He looks like he's probably 100%. He's ready to go. The Eagles went 2-0 this season versus the Giants. Again, Jalen Hurts had that shoulder injury. He seems to be healthy, about 95% they are saying. The Eagles started out hot this season. They were 8-0 for a while. Then they lost that one, but they ended up going 13-1 as Hurts, emerged as an MVP candidate. Now, I think he's still a candidate, but I think right now it looks like it's Pat Mahomes is to lose, in my opinion. Now, the last number 1 seed to win Super Bowl, it was the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018 over the Patriots. Now, the Giants are in the playoffs for the first time in 5 seasons with first-year head coach Brian Daboll. With their 31-24 upset win at the Vikings last week, and I picked them to beat the Vikings. I think the Vikings showed us they were who we thought they were. They had too many close games, and they finally came back to bite them in the butt. The Eagles are 7.5-point favorites in this game. Now, Hurts tied the franchise record with 35 total TDs. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown each topped 1,000 yards receiving for the Eagles. Miles Sanders rushed for 1,269 yards. So the Eagles got some firepower over there on that offensive side of the ball. They got a pretty good offensive line. Lane Johnson, I believe, is healthy. He's back healthy, so they're going to be ready to go. Sean says, who you got winning, Niners or Cowboys? What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining me. I got the Niners over the Cowboys 23-18. I think it's going to go down to the wire, but I think the Niners are going to have too much firepower and pull it out. Now, the Giants have lost 9 straight games in Philly. This game is in Philly. The most recent win for the Giants in Philly, October 27, 2013. So we're talking almost 10 years ago. Fly Eagles. Okay, got you. I see you, Golf Hawk. Fly Eagles. And I think they're going to fly. I think it's going to be 3-0 for the Eagles. I think this game is going to be a little touch and go there, but I think the Eagles going to exert their dominance, and I think Daniel Jones is going to do some Daniel Jones stuff, and I think the Eagles going to win this game. I picked the Eagles 27-13 over the Giants. Again, the Eagles are 7.5-point favorites in that game. Now, our last NFL divisional playoff preview, we got the number 3 seeded Bengals at the number 2 seeded Bills. This is a Sunday game. This is the early game, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Bills, as of this moment, the last I checked, the Bills are 5.5-point favorites in this game. Now, this is the second meeting between the Bills and the Bengals. You all remember a couple of weeks ago that Monday night game was postponed and then canceled altogether because of Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffering that cardiac arrest on the field in the first quarter. So this game is going to be really, really, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Do you think that the run game will determine this game? Which game, VB? You talking about the Bengals or the Bills or the Eagles or the Giants? I think the run game definitely is going to hit in that Giants-Eagles game. I definitely think the Giants need to run the football if they possibly can. With Saquon Barkley, I think they definitely need to lean on him and kind of lean on, Daniel Jones with that RPO, that run pass option too. Because I don't think they got enough firepower as far as throwing the football across the field. I think the Giants ain't got it. Obviously, the Eagles do. So the Giants want to kind of make this game, keep that Eagles offense on the sideline as much as possible and make this game a time of possession. Eagles and Giants. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so I think if the Giants can keep the Philly offense on the sideline, run the ball effectively, use some time, and score, score just enough, that give them a shot. But that Eagles offense, man, they clicking right now. So we're gonna see. I think that game is gonna be dicey there for a second, but then I think the Eagles are gonna just show that they're the better team and they're gonna exert that and pull away. But this Bengals at Bills game, now both these teams are on win streaks. The Bengals are on a 9-game win streak, and the Bills are on an 8-game win streak. Now the Bills are 4-0 in home playoff games under head coach Scott McDermott, and the Bills quarterback, this has been his stickler. Unfortunately, Josh Allen, I had him as my MVP candidate earlier in the season, but he's kind of fell off a little bit. He's led the NFL in turnovers with the regular season with 19, and he's had 3 in their wild card win versus the Dolphins last week. Now, the Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase has 9 straight games with at least 7 receptions. That's the 5th longest streak since the 1970 merger, including playoffs. And Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs has 3 100-yard receiving games in the playoffs with the Bills, and that's the second most in Bills history behind Andre Reed's 5. My pick in this Bills Bengals game, I'm picking the Bills. I think it's gonna be close. I think Bills are still gonna be riding off of the Damar Hamlin, inspiration, and he's been at the facility. His update, he's been at the facility a couple of times this week. I still think they're gonna find a way to ride off of that inspiration with him, with their teammate. And I think the Bengals going to eventually, because they got offensive line injuries too. They got a couple of backups that's gotten the start because they lost one to a kneecap injury. So Joe Burrow probably is going to be under a little bit of pressure. So I'm picking with the Bills. I'm sticking with the Bills. I'm picking them to win 24-22 over the Bengals, and it's going to be a close one. So those are my NFL divisional playoffs preview. All right, producer Tyler, let's move on to our next hot topic. Bethune-Cookman head coach Ed Reed goes off on the university. Now, if you did know, former NFL great, NFL Hall of Famer Ed Reed now is the new head coach at Bethune-Cookman. Well, this past Sunday, he went on his IG Live and he went off on the university administrators because of things not being what he thought they were going to be. He was on a golf cart and he rode around and he blasted the administration for the condition of the complex. He's saying there was trash everywhere. He and his football players had to pick up trash. He also claimed that his office had not been cleaned out prior to his arrival. So that made for an interesting topic. And again, the HBCU has been in the spotlight the last few months, obviously because of former Jackson State head coach, Coach Prime, with what he did down there. He came in and took over, and there was some things that we wasn't privy to that he kind of talked about on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. He dealt with some issues there. And I think that, the HBCU thing, I think these coaches, I think you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. They don't have the funding that these PWIs and Power 5. So it's kind of funny to me for Ed Reed to go off. And I love Ed Reed, Hall of Famer, but I just thought that wasn't a great way. Obviously, okay, you want to shine a light on it. I get that. But maybe talk to your administrators first before you just, this social media thing. We quick to jump on social media and go live and just, I was like, man, there's a protocol, brother. I hate that he did that, but I understood he felt some type of way walking in a situation, and he thought that it should have been better, but he should have known that prior to accepting the job. Now, the funny thing about this too, Bethune-Cookman hadn't formally even had a press conference naming him as the head coach, according to what I've read. And he was hired back on December 27th. As far as his contract issues, don't know what his contract is, don't know any of that. So it's kind of been funny that, that Bethune-Cookman hadn't even had a press conference naming him as the head coach. VB Senior says first he didn't want to go there. They talked him into it because they had issues. Is it remorse now? You know what? It could be, VB Senior. It could be remorse now. He could be having second thoughts. But he will come back and apologize. I do want to add, he would a couple of days later. Matter of fact, the next day, he would go on his Twitter and he would, he apologized for the way he handled it. It was unprofessional for him to go at the Bethune-Cookman administrators and students and staff. He said that is not the way I should have handled that. It's not very professional. And I agree. I thought it was unprofessional. Again, I thought he should have handled that a different way. He should have went and spoke with the administrators prior to jumping on these phones. But that's the world we live in. Everybody, you get hot, you get upset, you're going straight to your social media and you're going to do live, and it makes for great talk, though. I agree. But again, Coach Reed, I think he understands. And Coach Eddie George, I did a story on it as well. He talked about it as well. Coach George said he didn't think that Coach Reed didn't understand the magnitude of what he got himself into. He said now he knows. He said the thing about it, HBCUs, you got to be able to roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty, because you got to be you got to wear many hats, so to speak, as a head coach and as an athletic director and all that at HBCUs. So again, I definitely want to support HBCUs. I want to see them do well, but I also want us to take those jobs, man, to understand the magnitude of what you're taking and work with the administrator first. Now, the administrators too have to do better as well. I've heard some stories about what happened at Jackson State, and some stories at Grambling as well. So we got to hold these administrators to a higher standard as well. So hey, Coach A. Reed, we wish you luck down there, man, and get it popping. And if y'all didn't know, the AD down there is former NBA player Reggie Theus. He is the athletic director at Bethune-Cookman and the head men's basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman. So he's wearing two hats. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're going to wear many hats at the HBCU level. So again, salute, A. Reed. Next time, brother, man, take a deep breath and go talk to the administrators. All right, next topic, producer Tyler. We're talking about Arkansas men's basketball player. I'm sorry, I should have said it's Alabama. I'm sorry, it's Alabama men's basketball player Darius Miles, not Arkansas. That may be my fault. I think I gave that wrong, but it's Alabama men's basketball player, not Arkansas. Darius Miles, he was arrested and charged with capital murder. Now, if you didn't know, this happened over the past weekend. Investigators say that Darius Miles admitted to providing a handgun to 20-year-old Michael Lynn Davis of Charles County, Maryland. And Davis is accused of being the trigger man, along with Darius Miles, of shooting 23-year-old Jamia Harris, who was sitting in the car. Now, this incident happened Sunday morning on the Strip, which is a student-oriented district of restaurants near the Alabama campus. Police say Harris was sitting in the passenger seat of a car when she was struck by a bullet. Police declined to say where Miles got the gun. Now, as of January 1st, Alabama is one of the states that stopped requiring a permit to carry a concealed handgun. So again, former Alabama men's basketball player, because he is former, he was released, let go from the team and the university, and he and the Michael Lynn Davis are both charged with capital murder in the death of 23-year-old Jamia Harris, who had a 5-year-old son. And this is just a sad, sad story all the way around. I was reading some other reports where Jamia Harris' mother says that, and this hasn't been confirmed, that according to what she's saying, that Darius Miles was upset with Jamia Harris because she would not talk to him. He was trying, I guess, get to know her a little better. She refused his advances, and he got upset. And this isn't the first time we heard that. But if that's the case, what are we doing? What are we doing, young men? If a young lady isn't interested, she just isn't interested. What you know. Now look. Now we got two families that's devastated. That's changed forever. One family, their daughter is gone. Her son is motherless. And then another family, you got two men that's going to probably be incarcerated for the rest of their life. So it's just a sad story. And then the gun violence here in this country, it's a never-ending tale. You know, we've talked about that time and time again, but gun reform got to figure it out. I know criminals and people gonna be able to get guns no matter what type of laws you enact, but we gotta do something. VB Senior says prayers up for her and her family. I agree. Yeah, so we sending our prayers to the Harris family on the loss of their daughter in this senseless death. And I'm gonna pray for the Miles family too, because this obviously, you know, their family is forever changed too. So there's, you know, prayers going both ways into the Alabama men's basketball program as well. So that's that. All right, Mr. Tyler, let's get to our next topic. NIL deal falls through. If you don't know what the NIL is, that is the name, image, likeness. Now that college football players can get paid. They get paid for their name, their image. Which I'm all for it. But we found it's been a loophole in this thing now. Florida quarterback, former Florida quarterback commit Jaden Rashada, he wanted his release from Florida. He originally committed to the University of Miami back in, I think, the summer. Then in November, he flipped that commitment to Florida because he was able to get an NIL deal with a basically kind of like, it's not a booster, but it's a network that works with the Florida Gators to help get their kids, it's called a Gator Collective, to help get their athletes NIL deals. Well, this was going to be a $13.85 million NIL deal for this quarterback, Rashada. And remember, he hasn't played a down in college football yet. He's a high school. He's class of 2023. Matter of fact, he was number 27 recruit in the class of 2023. Where he asked for his release once this NIL deal fell through. He asked his release from Florida, and Florida gave him his request. So here's the question is, with these athletes not being able to do this, if the deal falls through, can they just automatically, if it doesn't happen for them, they can just say, I don't want to go to that school anymore? How do you legislate that? I think college now they have a dilemma on their hands with these deals. Now again, this deal was called the Gator Collective, which really doesn't have a tie to the athletic to the school per se. It's sort of like boosters, but they're really not boosters. But they are able to get deals, and you'll see this at a whole bunch of different universities where they have these collectives or groups that actually raise money that to help fund these NIL deals for these college athletes. So that's my question. How will you be able to legislate that? How can you keep a kid from, if he doesn't want, if the deal falls through, he can leave if he's already signed that national letter of intent? That's a slippery slope. So I don't know how you can even manage that. VB Senior says colleges need to control these collectives. That's probably another way to do it. I think so. I think colleges definitely need to put a little bit more control in handling this. Again, I'm not against these athletes getting paid because I think they should be. But now a kid shouldn't be able to just leave a school after he's committed to them and signed it, and then because the NIL deal fell through. Maybe, I don't know. The Real Estate Insider, DC for life. I see you, Real Estate Insider. Thanks for dropping in. This kid, again, he hadn't played a down of college football. He's out of California, number 27 recruit out of Florida, and he committed to Florida, but now that commitment, he was able to get the release. Jaden Rashada. So where does he go now? Because the transfer portal has pretty much closed. Most colleges have already set their rosters. So I'm sure he'll go somewhere. But man, it's going to be the timing of this is really not good. So I'd like to know what you guys think about this NIL deal. Can kids be able to leave if their NIL deal doesn't go through for them? I'd like to know what you think about that. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. And also let me know your picks for these NFL divisional games. I already see the real estate insider. Thanks for joining me. I already knew he's picking Dallas Cowboys. I had my man Golf Hawk say Fly Eagles, so I know who he going with. So yeah, let me know who you got. Jags at Chiefs kickoff today, 3:30. Who you got? Giants at Eagles. VB Senior said he's going on an unofficial visit to his dad's alma mater today. Okay, cool. What is this? I knew his dad played college football. Is it Arizona? Is it a West Coast school? What school is that, VB Senior? Let me know. Because I did see that. I knew they said that he may end up at his dad's alma mater. I don't know if I want to say they said maybe Arizona State. I could be wrong, but I know it's a West Coast school. But also, VB Senior, who you got, man? Let me know. Jags at Chiefs today, Giants at Eagles, Bengals at Bills tomorrow, and Cowboys at 49ers. Let me know in the comments, VB Senior, who you got. Yeah, he's going on an unofficial Arizona State. Okay, it is Arizona State. I thought I saw that. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, again, we got NFL football today, 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow. You know where I'm going to be seated at. Now, my hot mic moment real quick. I'm going to jump on this, and I'm going to get it done. I don't know if you guys watched that Lakers Grizzlies game last night, but there was some extracurricular activities with Uncle Shay Shay. Shannon Sharp was on the front row seat, and he went at Dylan Brooks for the Grizzlies, and it ended up turning into a sideshow. I think he went overboard. But my hot mic moment is, man, us sports opinion is sometimes we do a little bit too much. I know Shannon. Anybody know Shannon? LeBron's your guy. But, man, come on, go watch the game. We don't need all that. You know, then him and Ja Morant dad, T Morant, they got into it. And, you know, Shannon been going hard at the Grizzlies and Ja Morant because he's saying that they talk a lot of noise. But come on, sports opinionists. I know y'all got to follow them, but come on, man. Just watch the game and enjoy the game. You ain't got to be doing all them extras, Uncle Shannon. And I like Shannon. He my guy. VB Senior says he got the Chiefs, Eagles, the Bills, and the 49ers. Chiefs, Eagles, Bills, and the 49ers. That's pretty much what I think I have too. And I think if I had to pick an upset pick, if I had to go with an upset, I think the Giants would be my upset pick. I think the Giants could mess around and beat the Eagles, but I don't think that's going to happen. So again, I'm ready to watch some football today. You guys get your popcorn ready, all that good stuff. But I want to thank VB Senior, the real estate insider, who has dropped in with me. Sean for dropping in, Golf Hawk. I want to thank everybody for dropping in, leaving a comment. Make sure you share this show. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, TFG Sports Media on YouTube. We hit our mark, but we still building. We over 1,000 subscribers, and I want to thank everyone that's done that. Make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media on Facebook, and also check out my personal YouTube channel. It's sports oriented as well. Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube. Subscribe to that. Check it out, and also follow Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your football Sunday, and we're gonna see if the Cowboys gonna go fishing with my Green Bay Packers. I had to throw that out there to my Dallas Cowboy fans. So again, thanks for joining me. Make sure you check back with me this time again on next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm your sports guy, Kendrick. You all have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you on the other side. I'm out. Deuces.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore.